You are not undisciplined, you're just unaware. I've spent a lot of my time thinking that I was a very undisciplined person, but the thing is, I was just unaware of the things that I was doing. And I would get so frustrated at feeling so undisciplined and, watching these David Goggin videos and being like, I can't never do that. And all I needed to simply do was start paying attention. I want to encourage you today to not be so hard on yourself about discipline, but to start seeking awareness. Simone Weil says this: attention is the rarest and purest form of generosity. Doesn't it feel so good when you have something to say, you have a story to tell, you want to share something, and people actually pay attention? That's one of the greatest feelings you can have. Imagine if you did that to yourself. And usually, our frustrations and the things we're carrying, if we just simply paid attention to them, we could fix them and change them. But we think it's all about discipline. We think we need to, lose weight, do these things. But if you just start paying attention, things can begin to change. Today's big idea: most people don't fail because they lack discipline, they fail because they live unconsciously. You're living unconsciously. You're so unaware of what it is that you're doing. You are very aware of what it is you are not doing, but in order to change that, you have to see exactly what you are doing. Your habits, your emotions, your feelings. Most people don't fail because they lack discipline. They fail because they are living unconsciously. Today is about waking up. Can you make a decision today to wake up, to choose exactly what you will be doing? And a lot of the choosing is about being aware about what's going on. Again, the quote that I shared with you at the beginning: attention is the attention is the rarest and purest form of generosity. Can you be generous with yourself? Even make it a tool that when you are with friends, when you are with loved ones, you're going to be generous by paying attention to them. Okay, so 3 points about awareness. Again, I want to be very clear. Disciplined people are aware people. Disciplined people are aware people. It's not that you lack discipline, it's that you lack awareness. And maybe you're like me and it's very hard for you to be disciplined. I think when we talk about discipline, it's the person that wakes up at 6 a.m., goes running for 5 miles, does cold plunges. And there is a type of person that does that, but for the creative, for the person seeking joy, discipline can just mean being intentional and aware about who you are, what you're doing, and where you want to go. I have certain friends that are these hardcore disciplined type people. I'm not one of them, but one of the things that I am is very aware, and that makes me disciplined. 3 points I want to share with you on our conversation today. Number one, discipline can't fix what you don't see. Maybe you've heard that phrase: wherever you are, there you are. And so, yeah, sure, maybe you start waking up really early. Maybe you start running and beating and submitting your body. These are good things. But guess what's still going to be there? Some of the frustration, some of the anxiety. Because even though you started doing things, you are unaware of what really needs to change. You can't out discipline patterns you're unaware of. You just repeat them even harder. And one of the things that will happen if you just start sort of hiding and not being aware is when you quote unquote get disciplined, these things will come up even harder and stronger. And you'll be even more disappointed because you're going to go, oh, but I've changed this, I've changed that. I started being healthier, I started being better. I know this firsthand. Now, I'm unaware of some of the things that are really going on deep down inside. And I shut them off to run, to cold plunge, to wake up early. But then these things, these habits, these emotions come back up and I fall even harder. They feel even worse because I didn't fix them. I just changed a behavior, but I didn't change a pattern. And so discipline cannot fix what you don't see. One of the hard things that we have to do is go into our lives and our hearts and our emotions and our patterns and turn the lights on and look around. One of my friends and I, we often joke about and say that a lot of times, a lot of this internal work feels like turning on the lights in your dark room and seeing how dirty it is. And you have the choice of just turning the lights back off or getting to work and cleaning the room. Awareness is turning on the lights of your dirty room. Discipline can't fix what you don't see. A lot of awareness is just turning on the lights. Okay. Number two, awareness changes behavior without force. One of the things when you turn the lights on, you start to notice, oh, this is why it stinks in here. I had a plate of pizza, figuratively speaking, hopefully, in my bed for the last 2 weeks. Awareness changes behavior without force. And you're going, oh, I'm so mad at this smell. You just didn't realize that this was sitting there. When you see what's driving you, shame, fear, avoidance, change becomes lighter. Again, I would get so frustrated about not being this 6 a.m. running disciplined person, but really it became so much easier to change my habits and to change myself when I started seeing that I was so hard on myself because of shame, because of guilt. And now I'm on a mission to teach you and to live in a life of non judgmental awareness so that we can be better people. One of the best things about the work that I do and the life that I've decided to live is that it doesn't just affect me, it affects everyone around me, my wife, my kids, my friends. Now that I'm healed, now that I'm choosing joy, now that I am architecting and being aware of my life, it changes those around me. I say this all the time. And you know the phrase, hurt people, healed people, heal people, aware people help others become aware. Awareness makes it so much easier to be kind and not to just live out of shame and guilt. That's what I want, and that's what I'm doing. Number three, joy grows where attention goes. Joy isn't hype, it's presence, and presence reshapes habits naturally. Presence reshapes habits naturally. I love this idea because, I've been married now 13 years, and just being around my wife and at the time girlfriend just naturally changed me. Being around my kids, being around my daughters just naturally changes and softens my heart. Guess what joy does? It naturally begins to soften your heart. Because when you can see the real you, the shame, the bad habits, the guilt, the hurt that you are dealing with and facing or are avoiding, when you can just be aware of it and let joy be the thing that shines light on it, it will naturally begin to reshape you. But if you just always avoid it, you just always push it away, it's going to keep coming back again and again and again. And so I didn't say this at the beginning, but my name is David and I'm a joy coach. I help people break cycles of shame and guilt to fully pursue joy. And so where attention goes, joy will grow there. Joy grows where attention goes. Where do you need to pay more attention at in your life? Your habits, your emotions, your negative self talk. Begin to start paying attention to these things because presence shapes habits naturally. Begin to be present with yourself. There's a quote that I think about all the time about Saint Francis of Avalia. She says this: most problems in the spiritual life stem from a lack of self knowledge, self awareness, self presence. And if you can just be present with yourself, good emotions, good habits, bad habits, you can naturally reshape them and naturally begin to do the things that you want to be doing and live the kind of life that you want to be living. And this is our goal here. I almost, in a way, I'm trying to stop saying the word discipline, and I'm liking the idea of curation. That's what discipline is. It's curating your life, curating your thoughts, being able to put things where they need to go and where they want to go for the best ideas, for the best life, for the best heart. But in order to do that, we have to be aware. A lot of the guys, weirdly, that I coach, they're young vintage resellers, and they understand this concept of curation, of being able to feel the shirts, look at the designs, and curate specific vintage that they're selling. You know, there's guys that are just sports niche, Americana, and they're curating the vintage that they like to be the vintage that they sell. You can do that with your thoughts. But in order to be able to know the vintage, you have to pay attention and you have to be aware of the single stitch, the design, the graphics, the way the shirt feels with ears. You can do that with your heart and with your emotions. And it's not that you're undisciplined, it's just that you are aware. So again, the big idea, most people, you're not failing in your lack of discipline. You're just living so unconsciously. Can you wake up? Can you begin to pay attention? Can you not first thing in the morning numb yourself out with your phone? Can you be more disciplined or more curated at where you're spending your time? Can you be more disciplined or more curated at how you are dealing with your emotions? Can you be more disciplined and more curated in your thought patterns and in your thought life and even in your self-talk? This is the goal here. The goal here in the Joy program and the Build for Joy podcast is to begin to nudge you to be more curated in the way you live your life. Because joy is a catalyst for true and deep change to live a true and deep life. My name is David, and this has been the Build for Joy podcast. Today's episode is about attention. If you listened through the whole way, make sure you follow us on Instagram, Dave Gomez TX. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment to the YouTube channel as we're putting out episodes usually Mondays and Tuesdays to encourage you to live a life on purpose. If you are dealing through anything and you would like some coaching, again, hit us up on Instagram, send a DM. We're doing a joy challenge right now where my goal is to help 100 people with 3 short coaching calls, all for free. And if you'd like more information, you can just DM me on Instagram. Thank you for being here. Super excited. We'll see you tomorrow for another episode. And we'll see you this week as you pursue joy. If you are pursuing joy, if these have been encouraging to you, drop a comment down below. Let me know. And as Youth of Today would say, make a change today. Peace.